Let's see, 35 says 2f times 5f minus 2 minus 10 times, that's not a very good parentheses at all, 10 times f squared minus 3f plus 6 equals negative 8 f times f plus 4 plus 4 times 2f squared minus 7f. Almost ran out of room. Okay. Now, these are complicated equations. These are some of the most complicated equations you will actually see. All right, in terms of being how long they are. So when you're doing this, what is the first thing that you're going to want to do to start simplifying it? We first are going to have to distribute. Okay, so let's first distribute. So we're going to distribute the 2f to both of these. What do we get when we distribute the 2f to the 5f? 10f squared, good. What do we get when we distribute the 2f to the minus 2? Yes. Good, minus 4f. Okay, now do the same thing with the minus 10. Distribute that. What do we get when we distribute the minus 10 to the f squared? Yep, minus 10f squared. What do we get when we distribute the minus 10 to the minus 3f? Good, plus 30f. And then minus 10 to the plus 6. Minus 60 is equal to, other side of the equation, negative 8f times f. Good, negative 8f squared, negative 8f times 4 minus 32f. Next parentheses, distribute that to 4 times 2f squared plus 8f squared and 4 times minus 7f minus 28f. Okay, so we got the distributing done. So now we got the distributing done, what are we going to look for? Any like terms that we can combine. So on the left-hand side, here's a 10f squared. Is there any other f squares on the left-hand side? All right, here, a minus 10f squared. If we have a 10f squared minus a 10f squared, what's going to happen to those two? Okay, so those two are canceling. Then we have a minus 4f plus the 30f. Those are also like terms. So what would that be? Good, 26f. And we have a minus 60, which does not have a like term, so we'll just leave it as the minus 60. Okay, on the right-hand side, start off here. We have a minus 8f squared. Are there any other like terms with this? Positive 8f squared. A negative 8f squared plus a 8f squared. Cancel. So those are now gone. Here we have a minus 32f. Is there any other like term with that? Yeah, minus 28f. So what do we get when we combine a negative 32f minus a 28f? Good, negative 60f. Now, complicated equation suddenly got much easier. Okay, and that's what we're hoping. After we distribute and combine like terms, it should be a much simpler equation. So now how would we solve that for f?
You got to put that 26f on the other side of the other.
Okay, so we have to get our f's together. So we would subtract the 26f over. If you guys like the lines, draw the lines in there. I'm going to try my best to remember putting those lines up there every time. I might forget a few times, though. Okay, so now what do we have left when we subtract the 26f over? We have a negative 60 equals, what'd you say? Good, negative 86f. And then how do you get the f alone? Because it's almost alone, right? How do we get it by itself? Good, divide by negative 86. First off, these are both negative, so what happens? Changes it to positive. How can you reduce 60 over 86? By 2. Okay, that's a good place to start. So what is 60 divided by 2? That'd be 30. What's 86 divided by 2? 43. Ooh, 43 is a prime number. So that means that this is simplified. 30/43. That's a crazy fraction, but that's okay.
I got 1 equals 2 left.
For this one,
Yeah,
I don't know how either.
2.
Must have just not combined things quite correct. Okay, we will do one other equation with one another. 14.
33.
We'll do 14. On 33, I heard someone say 33. 33 is a lot like 35, where you just have to go through step by step. All right, but earlier I think 2 of you asked on 14, so we'll do 14 together as well. Negative 2 times the quantity w plus 1 plus w is equal to 7 minus 4w. Oh, that looks kind of easy after what we just solved, doesn't it? Oh, maybe this one will go kind of fast then. Okay, what do you want to start with, or what do we have to start with here? Okay, we got to distribute. So what do we get when we distribute the minus 2 throughout that parentheses? What are we going to get? Lindsay, what do we get when we distribute that negative 2 throughout? Okay, minus 2w, and then what? Negative 2 times the 1, what will that give you? Negative 2. Then we still have our plus w equals then our 7 minus 4w. Okay, so now we want to get like terms together. So on the left-hand side, do you see any like terms? Anything like with this minus 2w here? Plus w. Okay, well, what's a negative 2w plus a w? Well, no, not quite, because we're adding like terms together. So remember, when you add like terms, you just negative 2 plus, what number is in front of this w here? 1. So it's like thinking negative 2 plus 1. What's that? Negative 2 plus 1. Yeah, what is it, Lindsay? Negative 1. So we have negative w plus 2 is equal to 7 minus 4w. From here, then, we can set up our lines and solve it. How can we solve this one? I want to get the w's together, so how can we do that? Add what? Sure, we can add the 4w. That works out well. What do we get when we add the 4w to both sides? 3w, still have the plus 2 equals 7. Then what do we do next? To get the w alone, what else are we going to have to do here? Subtract the 2. So we are left with 3w is equal to what? 7 minus 2, 5. And then our final step for this one to get the W alone. It's going to be this final step. Divide by 3. Yep. When you guys see this, 5/3, there's no like terms, so you can just leave that as 5/3. That's totally fine. Okay, you don't even need to go in your calculator and figure out what that is as a decimal. You can just leave it as 5/3. All right. Is that okay? All right. So then those other problems, what I'm going to do is I will. We got to learn a little bit new today, but I will give you guys a couple minutes to try to finish up 1 or 2 of those other problems you asked about. Okay. And then we will start learning some of this new stuff. Yes. Yeah, I'll come on back and help you out with it.